Holy crap, Warhammer hits crazy hard. This is such a fun build to play. We're rocking Warhammer with Inferno. We're playing the Haste Hammer, which is an interesting approach to Warhammer, but just look at the crazy damage this weapon has. Lots of AoE putting the damage in. We switched to the Infernal. Honestly, the Fire Staff noodles in comparison to what that Warhammer does. The partially charged heavy into the Armor Breaker. Just like that, 2 players go down. Now, I've got not only a bunch of gameplay footage of this build, but there is a build breakdown at the end of the video, and there's a written guide linked down below if you guys are interested in that. And not only that, I'll be streaming almost every day, so if you guys want to catch some live gameplay, you can find a link to my Twitch down below too. Now, let's get into that PvP commentary. The enemy player comes up the side here. I again go for the Incinerate, hoping to land the stagger. The Hatchet player, unfortunately, not taking that stagger there, but he just ends up running off the edge as he's lower health. And I attempt to trade with the Heavy Armor Greatsword player. He does quite a lot of damage, so I quickly get out of there with a couple rolls. And then I use the Burnout to try to get to a target at the other side of the outpost here. We got 2 friendlies that are swirling around on the other side here too, so I jump down and just start putting some heavy attacks in. The Warhammer's partial charged heavy attack is one of its best tools. Not only is it crazy fast and has really good damage, but it has incredible reach. This guy follows me around the corner. We hit him with the fireball, and then just a little tap with the Warhammer. He doesn't even survive into the gavel, and down he goes. Now, one of the things I want you guys to see in this gameplay is how much haste the Warhammer has. You put a Rune Glass dot on the Warhammer, and you take the passive that gives you haste. You just have to hit a target once and you get 15% haste. And then we've got 2 skills, Mighty Gavel and the Clear Out, which both give 30% haste. Easily 45% haste just from landing a single attack on this build. That is absolutely crazy. And I just get a little bit of line of sight here to chug my potions, come back up towards the Fire Staff Great Axe player here. We've got 2 in front of me. I hit him with the Clear Out. Lots of damage on that. There is a nice little light attack into the Armor Breaker, and we get him with the Burnout to take him down. And then it's me and this Spear guy up here. And oh my god, man. Almost a 6k Mighty Gavel. This is so crazy how much damage this weapon does. And then, of course, we get that 45% haste, sitting at 55% haste because I do like to use the speed food in PvP. So we can very easily hit haste cap. And there's just a ton of enemy players in here. Again, I just start going for damage on the center spawn there. And there you see I actually go for the Mighty Gavel because we get that huge haste bonus. It allows me to get out of there super quickly. Then I get behind cover here. Unfortunately, chugging my potion instead of using the skill I want. But we do land the Incinerate on a few players there. And I end up falling off the edge. And that's about the climax of that fight. Moving on to the next clip, I gotta say, man, this build was a lot of fun to play. I think I'm gonna try it tomorrow with Hatchet, though, because the Fire Staff was good, but I think it lacked the defensive utility that I really wanted from my off weapon. Just because Fire Staff is more of an offensive weapon, I think, than anything. But having Incinerate definitely was a big part of this Warhammer build. And there, I run into a couple of Flamethrower guys. Yeah. That is always something that some people can really struggle with in PvP, but we've got a lot of stuff going for us on every build that I play nowadays to counter that kind of a build. The cleansing potions are a huge part of it. It allows us to turn around and put a lot of pressure into the Flamethrower guys. And this guy comes around the corner. We lock onto him with the partial charged heavy into the Armor Breaker. Down he goes. And then I hit this guy with the partial charged heavy into the Gavel. And look at the reach on that heavy attack. Absolutely amazing. That's a big thing with the hammer, is you don't have a lot of reach on your actual skills. So to get on top of people, you want to constantly be using those lights, the partial charged, and even the fully charged heavy attacks. All of them have really good reach. This guy just manages to get away. He hits me with the counter stun, and he winds up the heavy attack from behind. This is a Sword and Board Inferno Heavy Armor Flamethrower build. This is an interesting setup, but I gotta say, man, not only do we have the Cleanse Pot, but we also have the condition removal when I use my ultimate ability, so very easy for us to deal with that kind of a setup. And there you see, again, we get dotted up right away. Just go for the Cleanse Pot. I do land the Clear Out. That's how you want to use Clear Out on this build. It's not great for chasing people down, but I get around that guy. A beautiful Mighty Gavel, and he ends up going down. He even has the Oak Flesh Bomb up there. We still hit him for over 3k with the Gavel. And again, the clear out. As the opponent comes towards me, we just time that clear out. We managed to get a good counter stun. And all that haste, baby. So powerful. And I managed to bring the spawner down. We popped the haste off of the Warhammer there too. Unfortunately, I get hit by a counter stun, so I'm forced to use my ultimate. And then I just hold at the top here with my fire staff, landing that stagger. Big damage on the clear out, and this guy just manages to escape. I try to get back on top of him with the fire staff. And we're still getting chased by that other fire staff player in here. And I love that incinerate, man. Just ensuring that stagger and just interrupting their offensive progression there. Getting in the way of them getting a good combo off or a stun on me. And the enemy player is very low health. Only one of them comes up. Finally, the other two come up. There's big damage on the clear out. We go for the armor breaker. This guy almost dead, and I go for the bop with the hammer. Unfortunately, he falls off the edge, so I don't end up landing it, but he blows his stamina here. But with all the players coming towards me, I decide to play it safe and just get back up top. And look at, we're slowly but surely wearing these guys down. And the two sword and board players here, both sword and board flamethrower, very, very annoying setup to fight. But we're able to do a lot of stamina damage with the Warhammer. I pop my ultimate again just to make sure we can get that healing power and purge off those negative effects. There's a good counter with the flamethrower, and this guy here almost going down to my hammer. Again, the range on that partial charge heavy, we're just sticking to him. And we do enough damage to kill him there, but the hatchet passive ends up proccing. He gets saved by that. And yeah, I end up falling off the edge here. We maybe should have tried to go for a little bit of haste instead of jumping off the edge before we had it. That might have given us the distance I need to stay alive, but that's okay. Moving on, the same OPR match here. I come back to this location. We got flamethrower guy on us again, and hatchet and spear doing quite a lot of damage too. We managed to get really good damage with the fire staff there, and of course my light attacks just noodling. I completely missed them. And there's the second fire staff sword and board player, and I gotta say I love this clip because these are builds that some people can really struggle against, and I feel like Warhammer uniquely has such a good ability to do the burst. And oh my god, that guy comes off the edge. He just gets bopped right away and goes down. And then I just keep working on these fire staff guys here. They're popping their shields. The other guy is just rotating flamethrower on me. But that cleanse potion just doing huge work here. Now, these guys are also running Inferno, which means that their fire dot is not going to be as strong as if they were running an actual intelligence-based fire staff build. So that's definitely working to our advantage here. There he hits the stun and he misses his heavy attack while I'm holding still for him. That's okay, I've been there many times. They both go for the burnout at the same time. And there's, again, we timed that clear out as they come in order to land it. It's very important that you try not to chase with clear out. I learned that the hard way today, just not sealing a bunch of kills because I tried to go for the clear out when I really shouldn't have. And I just quickly pop my potions, heal up. They go for their burnout, I go for mine through them. Again, we pop a little bit more healing power. Oh no, the cleanse potion. And this guy just sits up at the top there. I want to pull him off because sitting at the top, if I'm getting shot at by multiple players, or I guess multiple flamethrowers here, puts me in kind of a bad position. And it looks like the sword and board spear player has shown up here. And I just go for my ultimate, purge off those effects. Really good incinerate. We get the stagger on everybody. And there's the bop with the Warhammer, Haste Hammer. So good. We have so much mobility with it. And these guys try to stay on my tail here. I go for the fire staff. Again, we've got another incinerate coming through. And oh my god, so much damage on this poor guy. He healed up with the potion, and we just right away took his health out with the hammer. And now it's the two flamethrower guys on me again, and they are just rotating those flamethrowers. Yeah, we don't really have to use the cleanse potion here. I'm gonna wait until I have a good offensive opportunity to use it. Here we go for the cleanse potion. I managed to get the knockback there, go for the partial charged heavy. That's gonna give us the empower as well into our next attack, and they interrupt my combo with a stun. As soon as I'm let free from that stun, flamethrower guy, he's just, you can't spam flamethrower in front of a Warhammer's face like that, especially with that passive that gives us the 35% damage boost when we take damage for 1 second. Flamethrower is going to keep that constantly procced, so we can get huge counter damage off on those kinds of builds. It looks like sword and board spear player. Is it sword and board spear? Maybe he switched weapons here, but he came back out again. He's swinging his sword around, just trying to rotate around them with the fire staff. And it looks like he's out of stamina here. There's the knockback. There's the light attack into the gavel. Unfortunately, I go for the gavel a little early. And then I pop my ultimate again just to remove all those negative effects. And turn around and try to put some damage into the Sword and Board Fire Staff player there. He ends up going for a stun. I do a good job predicting it, get the dodge, and there is the burnout. Huge damage on the Sword and Board player. And I don't know if he's going to come back. I think he might just retreat after that. And I just keep feeding this guy heavy attacks. He is running a heavy armor block build. Either way, that was a really fun build to play today. Here's a look at the attribute points that I'm running. We are going pretty much all in strength, 50 in intel, just to give us a little bit more burn damage on the fire staff. And of course, 150 con and 50 focus. The Warhammer, we have multiple sources of haste here. We got 30% haste on the gavel. We've got 15% haste that will proc on any attack thanks to running a rune glass dot. And then of course, the power through pain. I don't think this counts as an empower anymore. So this gives Warhammer crazy good counterattack damage potential that other weapons just straight up don't have. And then the Fire Staff, of course, we got a little bit more haste here. And if you're running Inferno, I highly recommend you run Backdraft. It's a great way to get that damage that you miss out on your burns through those heavy attacks when you land enough Fire Staff burns on them and then hit them with the heavy. Now the Warhammer, of course, you want to go Trenchant Strikes. I think that's the way to go. If you're running the Clear Out like I am, Sundering Clear Out is a 24% rend, really good stuff. And the Fire Staff, Empowering Fireball, is my favorite perk, but honestly, you could go with whatever you want here. And then for the gear, I've got a mix of Shirking Heals, Health, and Refreshing. I've got at least one Hasted Vigor. I have two here, but ideally I would only have one. And the health perks, I would like to switch out for something like Elemental Aversion or even Enchanted Ward, but again, there are gear limitations, right? My gear is slowly but surely getting a lot better. And the jewelry here is perfect. On the ring, you definitely want to run Purifying Heart in today's PvP meta. It makes a huge difference, especially not just against Fire Staff, but against like musket players who are running the Void Gauntlet on the back bar, and they get so many dots on you. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. We'll be trying something new on stream tomorrow. Send in those clips for the top 5 PvP fights, and have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.